Welcome to the Ella Meeples playthrough and review of Baseball Highlights 2045, the solo game. In this video, we will cover a playthrough of the first bye rounds and the first game of a World Series. Then we'll go over my thoughts on the game and what I think about its solo variant. You are a manager of one of 4 baseball teams: San Francisco, Boston, Los Angeles, or New York. The decks consist of 15 cards, each representing a player. Veterans have somewhat better powers, and also the veterans differ from team to team, while the rookies are the same for each team. During the game, you'll be changing your default team and bringing in new players called free agents. Free agents have better powers than your normal players, but they cost a certain amount to hire. Basically, this is a deck building game, but baseball, and robots, and cyborgs in 2045. Each of you, the player and the AI, will receive a player mat. The mats are actually two-sided, so if you're left-handed or right-handed, you can use the side that you prefer. So you are always going to be the visiting team in the solo variant, which means you go first in every inning. And the AI is always the home team, which means they always go second. This is not as big of an advantage for you as you might think. Runs are tracked on each player board, and so are the number of games won. We have our free agent deck. We have our own deck, which is going to go into our lineup. The dugout is the discard pile. Lots of batter meeples. Well, pawns, really, not so much meeples. I wish they were meeples, but maybe that can be in an expansion or something. We start the game with our original team of 15 players. That's 5 veterans and 10 rookies. And the AI starts with 15 free agents in their deck. Along the top row, we've dealt out 6 cards from the free agent deck. These are the free agents that are available to be bought during the bye round. In a solo game, you can have 0 to 4 or maybe even 5 bye rounds before you start the games proper. This allows you to seed your deck with a few free agents to counterbalance against the mega power that the AI deck is going to throw at you. To execute a bye round, simply get 6 cards from your lineup, and when you look at your cards, look at the green number. The green number tells you how many points of buying power you have. So you can have 2, 1, there's even zeros here, but we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 buying power. A free agent has a cost in the red diamond and also has a green payout icon as well. So once you get them into your deck, and you use them for buying power, they will provide some buying power usually. So I'm going to go for the 5 and 4 value players. To draft a card, simply take it from the row of free agents and put it on top of your lineup. Do the same for any other cards you're buying. You can buy as many as you can afford and place them on your lineup. These immediately fill out. In order to incorporate new players into the deck, old players need to be eliminated. So whoever's in your current hand, you need to get rid of 2 of them. I'll get rid of this one, get rid of this one as well. And we send them to the minor leagues. So we'll just tuck them under the board, like so. And the rest of the cards that you used go to the dugout or your discard pile. So that's 1 buying round. Mike Fitzgerald, the designer of the game, suggests 2 buying rounds for an appropriately challenging challenge that's not too tough, like having no buy rounds. That would be a little harsh. So let's have one more buy round. So again, we draw 6 cards from the lineup. And yes, it is the case that you're going to draw the players that you just bought into your hand as buying power for the next buy round. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 buying power. Let's go for this guy. And now we need to get rid of a person from our hand. Get rid of that person. And discard. We begin by drawing 6 cards from our lineup into our hand. And since we're the visiting team, we get to go first. These are the main components of a batter. Their type, which can be natural, robot, or cyborg. Their activation box, which has a special ability. Not all of them have special abilities, but many of them do. Their hit boxes. So for instance, this guy will have a single hit. This guy has a single hit. This guy hits a home run. This guy hits 2 singles. Yeah, someone hitting 2 singles is a little weird, but it'll make sense. Trust me. And then there's the speed of the base runners that this guy puts out onto base. So average speed, there's slow speed, and there's fast speed. We'll get to see how each of those work as the game spools on. This ability is good if we've got a runner or second or third base, which we don't because we're just starting out. This is a good ability to play when the other player is threatening runs, because we can cancel one of them. This is good when the other player has a base runner that we can pick off. Okay, this is an option for starting since he doesn't have a special ability. He hits a home run, which is kind of useful because if it gets through, it means we'll instantly score. But it would be more useful to load the bases up with more players so that if he gets the home run hit through, and assuming these singles get through, then we can actually score 3 runs. So, and this guy cancels all hits from a natural player. Okay, so we are going to load up the bases, or attempt to. So we take the player that we are going to put onto the home plate, and we place them in play. At this point, we would usually activate our ability, but we've got nothing to activate in there, and then resolve the threatened runs of the opponent, but he has none yet. So we now threaten our own runs, which are a single and a single at an average speed. Average speed base runners are represented by blue pawns. Now the AI takes their turn, and we just flip a card over from their lineup. The AI executes the activation ability, which in this case means to cancel 1 hit. So he cancels one of the singles. Good thing we didn't try to hit a home run. Now we resolve our single. We resolve the single that exists, move the base runner up 1, and then this guy was canceled. And now this guy threatens a double with an average base runner. So we put a blue meeple here. And we'd like to advance this guy, add more guys to the threatened runs, and try to eliminate those threatened runs or pick off people from the bases if they exist. So there's nobody on base yet, so what we'll probably want to do, I'm tempted to do this actually, because I want to save the cancel 1 hit for something, a more dire situation, and I'm almost certain that there will be dire situations later on. So we can play him, and we can pick off that base runner when they get out. So we're going to play him. He has no ability, so nothing happens to this guy, and he advances his double. He threatens the home run with an average speed base runner. Now it's the AI's turn. We just turn another card over. So single, double, double, but they're slow runners. So that's a small saving grace. So that's not doing anything to our runners. So what happens on a home run is that everybody just advances to the home plate and we score 2 runs. Now this guy gets to do his threatened. Slow runners are represented by white meeples. So that's a slow single, a slow double, and a slow double. So this will actually result in some scoring. That's a robot, so we can't cancel all his hits. We've got nobody on second or third. We can cancel a hit or we can pick up a base runner. You know what? I'm going to choose pick up a base runner. I could cancel 1 hit, but it's not going to make a difference. And I want to get rid of that average speed runner so that he doesn't score. The slow runners may score, but they'll slow down anybody behind them, so I'm fine with that. So we are going to play. Ooh, the bad part about this guy is that he's got no hit boxes, so we don't put any runners down. This kind of sucks, because I want to put down runners. I'm still going to put him down. So we're going to pick off 1 base runner. So that guy goes away. We don't threaten anything. And this guy completes the single. And then the double advances people on base 2. And then the next double advances this guy home, and this guy ends up here. That's 2 runs. So we're even. It's not horrible yet. So we've got no runs to threaten, but let's see what the AI does. The AI plays a leadoff card. This only works if it's the first card played in the entire mini game. This power does not activate. However, he's got a fast runner, and he threatens 2 singles. So activation box goes off, nothing happens. We have no runs threatened, so nothing resolves for us. And the AI threatens 2 singles with fast runners here. Fast runners are bad because they move much faster than average or slow base runners. The difference between an average and slow base runner is that when the average base runner is on second base, a single is only needed to bring him home. So we probably want to do something about the fast people. So is it a natural? No, it's a robot. Darn it. So we are going to play our guy with the glove. Glove, cancel 1 hit. So we're going to cancel 1 of those singles. And we threaten, and we resolve this. So this guy advances 1. This guy advances 2 because he's fast. Now we threaten our single average runner. And this guy goes away. Now it's time for the AI to play. The AI's stolen bases advance all average and fast base runners 1 base. This is hilarious because the slow runner can't advance because he's slow, and the fast runner can't advance because the slow runner is in her way. That actually does absolutely nothing for them. Now we resolve our single, and now they threaten their 2 fast singles. So this seems to be a robot-heavy AI. Wow. We're in trouble. We don't have any defensive capabilities that are relevant because that's a robot and this guy only works against naturals. So we're just going to try to score stuff. So we're going to try loading the bases. So clutch is a double, but there's no runner on second or third. More's the pity. So that does absolutely nothing, and these fast singles go off. So this guy heads home. This guy heads home. This guy goes here. And then this guy heads home. This guy goes here, and they've scored 3 runs to bring up the total to 5 runs. Yeah, we're alive-ish. So we threaten our average single now. The AI's turn. Quick Eye! Home run if versus a cyborg. We are not a cyborg, we're a natural human being. So nothing happens. And our singles go off. Okay, our singles go off. Our one single goes off. And now Big Mo. Hi, Big Mo! Big Mo threatens 2 singles. 2 slow singles. Big Mo is a robot and not a natural, so we can't cancel all the hits. But we are going to do our darndest best. So we are going to play this guy. And he does absolutely nothing, so the singles hit home. So this guy goes home, this guy goes here, then this guy goes here, and that guy goes there, and this went home for another run. We threaten our home run. That was our last card play. And Quick Eye, single if versus a cyborg. Of course, Sandy is a cyborg. Great. So that ability means that he immediately gets a single average runner. So a single is immediately executed. Now that he's done his stuff, we do our stuff, which is to fulfill the home run. So we score 1, 2, 3. So we scored a total of 5 runs this game. Life is going to suck because the home team threatens a double and a single at average speed. So if we do nothing, those hits are going to resolve themselves and we have no defense. Now there's 2 ways to get a last minute defense. There's pulling out your on deck card, which we didn't set one aside for this game, so we don't have one available, or to draw the top card of the lineup. Because the lineup is empty, we'll reshuffle the dugout. But we aren't going to win in any case, so let's see how this resolves. So we've got a double. So that means this guy goes home, this guy goes home, this guy goes double, double, and now we execute the single. Single, single, and because he's an average speed base runner on second base and there was a single, he goes home as well. So that's 4 runs to bring us up to 10 runs on the AI side. And the AI wins a game. After a game, whatever the result, we have our bye round. The AI doesn't get a bye round, it just gets to discard its cards to the dugout. We take the cards that we put into the in-play box, and we use the buying power of those cards to buy more free agents and do a bye round just as we did at the beginning of the game. So we have 1, 0, 0, 2, 0, 0. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 5 buying power. So is there anybody out there that is 5? And this is the only guy worth 5, and he's a leadoff player. So we put this guy face down on the lineup immediately, so he'll come into our hand next game. And we discard these cards to the dugout and immediately refill this. Some of you may ask how Baseball Highlights 2045 compares to Bottom of the Ninth. I think there's room in a collection for both of these games, especially if you love baseball or are trying to get into the sport. I like Bottom of the Ninth when I need a quick game that's very intense, and I like Baseball Highlights 2045 when I have a little more time and I want to be entertained and think a bit more. As you can see from the difference between this playthrough and the playthrough for Bottom of the Ninth, there is a lot more strategy, a lot more tactics going on, whereas in Bottom of the Ninth, there is some of that going on, but it's less pronounced. I think out of the two games, we'll see more longevity from Baseball Highlights 2045, especially since BH 2045 already has a bunch of expansions, and I don't know if Bottom of the Ninth is going to get that many expansions that change the game as much as the expansions for Baseball Highlights 2045 does. So I think BH 2045 has more support, and if I was only going to choose one, I'd choose it, but it would be a very difficult decision for me because sometimes I just want a light little game that I can play while I am watching baseball and trying to understand. In the end, I think that Bottom of the Ninth is actually more faithful to baseball than Baseball Highlights 2045 is. Baseball Highlights 2045 is sort of a mix between a team management game and a game simulation game. And it captures the best qualities of both, so I don't really mind that it's not teaching me many things about baseball. But on the other hand, it does teach me some things about baseball, although it does twist the rules enough that you can't really map from one to the other without some mental hijinks going on. But enough about whether this is faithful to baseball or not. Is the game fun? And I think it is fun because I like being able to deal with the situations as they come up with. I know some people say that the AI deck is just this random collection of cards that plays out randomly, but the thing is, those free agents are very, very powerful, and if you're going to overcome 15 of them in one deck, you're going to need to hone your deck building skills. There's no way around it. And if somebody was actually intelligently playing that 15 card free agent deck, they would destroy you because the free agents are that powerful, and you just need to be able to cope with that. And being able to bring your team and improve it and get to the point where, yes, you are beating down the AI on the very last game, bringing it down to the wire, because that's what often happens with the World Series games, is that you get into gear just in time to have to win a slew of games all in a row in order to beat the AI. It's fun, and it brings a sense of tension, and I really like that. There's a real story arc going here. You're bringing your unknown team and making them stronger and drafting people that you like and getting rid of people who aren't as good, and deck building. I think this is probably my favorite deck building game at this point. The big question for a lot of people, I think, is will I like this game even if I don't know anything about baseball, or maybe even if I don't like baseball? And the great thing about Baseball Highlights 2045 is that, unlike Bottom of the Ninth, there is enough abstraction of the mechanics of baseball that you can enjoy it even if you don't know anything about baseball, and even if you hate baseball, you may still like this game. This game is really weird like that. It works on so many levels, and you know, if you can get over the theme, which I think anybody could unless they really, really despise baseball for some reason, then I think this is a great game to have, and especially for a solo player, this is one of the better deck builders in that genre. Later this week, I'll be posting a full playthrough of the World Series starting from where we left off, and I hope you can join me for that. Want early access to LMeeple videos? Do you want to determine which videos will come up next on the channel? Would you like to actually dictate which game should come up as a review on the channel? These rewards and more are available through my Patreon, patreon.com/LMeeple.